Hello, and welcome to this introductory video on running our first automation process. In this demo, we'll walk through the steps of using Studio to create a new process, publish it to Orchestrator, and run it with Assistant. To have a good understanding of what all these steps involve, we'll access UiPath Automation Cloud to create a new account and organization. Afterwards, we'll invite a new user in the group membership and allocate a license type automation developer named user. Next, we'll log into Automation Cloud as the new user, download, install Studio, and create a new process. We'll then add two activities and publish our project to Orchestrator. The last step is to run the newly published process with the UiPath Assistant. For a complete learning experience, we recommend following along and performing each step on your device. You can pause the video at any time to catch up. All set? Perfect. Let's begin. Our first step is to open the browser and access UiPath.com. Now, let's try UiPath free and sign in with our account. Being our first time signing in to the UiPath Automation Cloud, we must first create an account. Here we can enter our work email address or choose to continue with Google or Microsoft. Let's create the account. We now select the Admin tab on the left-hand side of the ribbon. While we are here, please know that you can switch between the new admin experience and the old one from the top right of the window. This option is only available for a limited time. In the future, we plan to remove the old experience completely. Great! Now, let's go to the Accounts and Groups. In the Users and Groups section, let's click Invite Users. Here we must enter the email address for the new user we want to invite. Check the Automation Users Group membership and click Invite. Next, let's go to the Groups section. Here, let's edit the group allocation rule for the Automation Users Group. As we want to allocate the automation developer named user license type, let's select it from the list and click Save. This license type provides a unique user with full operational rights to Studio, Studio X, Attended Robot, Data Service, Action Center, and Task Capture. These operational rights are further controlled using roles and permissions. This type of license is available for Attended and Studio or Studio X robots. Now let's move to the Orchestrator tab on the left-hand side. Select Tenant and go to Manage Access. To assign a role, we'll go to Assign Roles and select User. Here we must type in the name of the newly added user. And let's provide the robot role. This is a mixed role and includes both tenant and folder permissions. Let's now click Next and enable the user to run automations. And if we click Next again, we can allow unattended robots to run automations as this user. Since the next step is not needed for now, let's skip the robot setup and continue to assign the role. And here it is. We can now see in the list the robot role assigned to the new user. Perfect. Now let's switch accounts to download and install Studio. We'll first sign out of the account we used as admin and search for the invitation we've sent in the RPA developer mailbox. Here's the invitation. We can click Accept Invite. Next, we'll sign back into UiPath Automation Cloud using the RPA developer account. We can now accept the invite and access the specific organization that we've been invited to. Great! We're now logged in with the new user. Let's click Download Studio. Choose a location and click Save. Then run the installation package and select the Quick Installation for community users. Perfect. Let's launch Studio and create our first process. Since we chose to stay signed into Automation Cloud, the web browser now prompts us to open UiPath. If you choose not to stay signed in, you'll need to log in to continue. Perfect. Let's click Open UiPath to return to Studio and continue. This is the Studio Backstage view. If desired, we can choose between Studio and Studio X profiles by accessing the Settings tab, then clicking License and Profile. Let's continue with Studio and create a new automation process. For this, we click Start and then Process. We can name it UiPath First Run, supply a location and a description. You'll learn more about compatibility options in the Build Your First Process with Studio course. Let's click Create. To start building our automation process, we open the main workflow. For this demo, let's add a simple message box activity that will display a message on screen when run. We can add activities from the Activities panel or just by clicking the plus sign in the workflow. We can double-click it to add it to our workflow. Now we can type our message directly inside the activity between quotation marks. Let's add another activity, this time a log message one. We can select the log level as info and type in our message. Great! Let's save our work. For this, we can press Ctrl+S or just click Save at the top. Now let's run our process. We can see the message box stating Hello World. And if we check the Output panel, we can see the log message that we've entered earlier. Perfect. Next, let's go to the Design tab and click Publish to publish our process to Orchestrator. The blue title bar changes based on the type of the project we are publishing. It can be a library, UI library, test cases, templates, or in our case, a process. On the Package Properties tab, we can supply a new package name if needed, a new version, mark the version as alpha, add a package icon, and add the release notes. On the Publish Options tab, we can specify where we want to publish. We'll be publishing this on our Orchestrator personal workspace feed. We can also add a certificate if needed. Let's click Publish. The Info dialog box lets us know that the project was successfully published. Our next step is to run the process with UiPath Assistant. And here we are. We can see the newly published process in the processes list. To run it, let's click Run. Upon running it, the Hello World message box is shown on screen. Great! With this, we conclude our video demo on publishing our first project to Orchestrator and running it from Studio and with Assistant. Here are some of the key takeaways. An Automation Cloud account allows a user or robot to authenticate on your UiPath platform and to receive authorization to access resources of your various UiPath products. In Orchestrator, on the Manage Access page, we can define and assign roles. We use roles to control the level of access an account should have. The robot role is a mixed role and includes both tenant and folder permissions. In Studio, access the Design tab and click Publish to publish a process to Orchestrator. To run a process published to Orchestrator, we can open UiPath Assistant, select the process from the list, then click Run. Can you recall how we can add activities to our workflows in Studio? Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy automation!